Today we're talking about how to be a bully in sparring at the gym, but how to be a nice bully. How to be somebody that can go in, rough your opponents up a little bit, but still have them leave thinking, that was awesome. That was awesome sparring with Gabriel. I had so much fun, even though it was borderline a nightmare and I was so tired. Let's talk about this today. We're gonna have video footage examples of what I do to make sure that people enjoy sparring with me, even though I make it challenging. The first thing that I want to point out about this video is I'm going to provide lots of sparring clips. If you want to see full uncut episodes, you can head over to Hard to Hurt, Icy Mike's videos. He has one where I go up against him. You know what, I'll just put them all down in the description there. You can head over to the other guys' channels and watch the uncut footage. Now, throughout the years, as I've gotten better and better and better, I've realized, okay, I have to still be able to push people and make sure that they feel like they're getting worked and still have fun myself, but I have to do it in a way that does not hurt other people. And not everybody has that ability. There are people in the gym that pretty much everybody hates sparring with because they always hurt you. They go too hard with smaller people, with people who don't have the same skill level as them, and that's no good. So let's go through 7 points today, things that I try to utilize when I'm sparring against guys who don't have my skill level. And the very first point, and it's something that I like to do all the time, is toss your opponent to the ground, but you have to do it nicely. If you catch a kick, draw the leg through and bump somebody and sweep them and take their head from up here to here and then they come crashing down, you can actually hurt them. Or if you don't actually hurt them, you're gonna knock the wind out of them and they're not gonna have fun. So you control your takedowns, either make sure they don't hit the ground too hard or just do takedowns where they basically go from standing down to the ground. Nobody gets hurt. Everybody has fun, and this is so important if you want to give sort of that bully style around where you toss people, but you do not hurt them. The next point, and something that I like to utilize over and over, is walk people down, just pressure towards them. Somebody who gives them that uncomfortable feeling of an opponent just coming and coming and coming towards them, relentless, making life very difficult for them to get space to run or space to move. But this is such a great way to just provide that extra pressure. Plus, you as the attacker get to work on your defense because as you pressure towards somebody, very often they're throwing back at you. So you get to work that defense and still make sure you're upgrading yourself in the process of helping this other person learn to deal with pressure. Now, something I'm a big fan of doing is once I've pressured somebody to a wall or a ring rope, I hold them there. I make sure they don't have any room. And I'll either do that by tracking them as they move, I move with them, I stay in front, or by literally just pushing my forearms against them and applying pressure to make sure they cannot move. This is, again, a fantastic way to make somebody uncomfortable, to act like a bit of a bully, to smother them, but at the same time, keep them safe and make sure nobody is going to get hurt. I use this constantly when I go up against people as they fatigue. And when you push somebody and they're fatigued, they have to learn to utilize that footwork, otherwise they're just gonna get stuck there the whole time. Try this out if you're wanting to be that nice bully in the gym. The next thing we're gonna talk about is the clench. You can rough people up, toss them around, move them, not necessarily putting them down to the floor, but when you take control, give them a little boom, off balance, and then knee them. Maybe hit them with a couple shots, boom, off balance them again. Rough them up in the clench because getting moved around in the clench is much less damaging than getting hit over and over. And it's an easy way if you're somebody out there who does not necessarily have the control in your shots to tap and pull. If you can't do that, you can definitely move somebody around in the clinch and keep them very safe. Something else I like to do, which is just sort of mentally defeating, is hit somebody with the same technique over and over and over.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. There you go. There we go. There we go. Yeah, JD, you deal with those, man. You gotta address that. That's what you gotta address now, JD. You gotta move. Either move to your right at least. Yeah, take some off them. There you go. Yeah, that's not really. That's not really a solution. There you go. check. Like that.
And what I'm actually doing is helping them in the process, because eventually they're gonna go, oh, he keeps hitting me with the front kick. So I'm gonna scoop the front kick. But then to make sure that I'm challenging myself as well, I'll hit them, and then I will use that technique as a setup to land something else. So in one moment, you're helping yourself and your sparring partner, and I do this so often, and it's something that if you can pull this off against somebody your own skill level or in a fight, it's absolutely amazing. Setting up to create a long-term sort of fake, which will land, it's just, I can't speak highly enough about it, and it's a great way to kind of bully somebody, because if they don't, let's say, check the low kick, you keep hammering the kick in. You hit it and hit it and hit it, and eventually they're gonna go, yeah, I gotta deal with this. So just a great way to be a bully, but help your partner out as well, as long as you're not actually hurting them in the process by putting in too much power. It's a touch technique as opposed to a I'm hurting you for making a mistake sort of thing. Now, something else I like to do is to overwhelm my opponents with a whole variety of techniques while hitting light. So I just make life very difficult for them. I don't hit them with that same technique constantly that we were just talking about. I'm mixing things up. I'm being dynamic. I'm almost putting them in a whirlwind of a situation where they're going round kick, punch, round kick, front kick, oh, punches. And it's just a way to really show somebody how much better you are and how much lower their skill level is. But again, you're doing it in a nice way. And don't kid yourself. I used to have people do this to me when I was younger, and I appreciated it as long as I did not leave with a headache or I didn't hit the floor because somebody, slammed me hard on the stomach. But it's good sometimes to recognize that skill level disparity, and you get that much better by sparring people who are that much better than you. It ups your level. So if you're in the gym and occasionally you want to just give somebody a whirlwind of techniques, 10, 15 seconds where you're just mixing everything up, you're just showing them how difficult it is to get counters off on you and all that, to use their footwork to evade, you're just like, no, you're stuck in this zone and I have you. Once in a while, it's fun to do. And the very last thing that I like to put together when I'm trying to be a bully is end up in firefight situations where I just drop my head and I go, I'm just punching and I'm just gonna go. And if you don't throw back, I'm just gonna keep going. And usually people start to recognize that and they'll throw back too, and we end up in this little blitz back and forward, which is just super fun because everybody recognizes that the control aspect needs to be there. We're not slamming each other, and you can see from this video footage that no heads are getting snapped backwards. We're just touching. But you get very good at that eyesight. If you can do this squaring off, punching at each other and not be blinking the whole time, you are again upping your skill level. And in the process, just having some fun and again, being a nice bully. Now we've gone through the things that I utilize to be a nice bully. Let's talk about the things that you don't want to do. The things that will make you the real gym bully and nobody wants to spar with you. Number one, when you toss people to the ground, make sure you're not knocking the wind out of them. That could be me throwing them way too hard or elevating them really high where they come crashing down. When people fall and they legitimately get hurt, that is you being a bully and you want to avoid it. The next thing is putting far too much power into your techniques where you're legitimately hurting people. And if you are a big person at your gym, you have to be very careful to not use that size advantage in your favor, because you have to think sometimes, oh, I have 50 pounds on this person, but that means that I might punch with something like 80% more power. So you're like, oh yeah, I'm only going 50%, but to them, that 50% is almost full power at somebody within their weight class. So draw back on that power and don't be the person that everybody hates sparring with because you just hit too hard. The last thing that we want to really avoid if you don't want to be a gym bully is just coming in with an ego and an attitude. When I come in and I spar with somebody, I'm smiling. They're having fun, I'm having fun. You can see that both of us are just having a great time, as opposed to me going in being stone-faced and really just trying to mess this person up, and they can see my intention is not playful whatsoever. The intention that we deliver really dictates how the round is going to play out. So if you're much higher skill level than your opponent, but you're playful with it and you're having fun and both guys are smiling, touching gloves lots in between little exchanges, It's just a good time as opposed to what could happen, which nobody wants to experience. So that is my episode on being a nice bully in the gym. The two of them don't really sound like they go together. Nice bully? Like what? That doesn't exist, but it absolutely can. I do this even with my little kids in my program. I get like a 12, 13-year-old who weighs, I don't know, 120 pounds, and I can still throw them, rough them up, but they leave smiling, having fun, going, oh, I want to spar with Sensei Gabriel again really soon. That's what we want. We want people to leave and looking forward to the next rounds with you in the future. That's all I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this episode and got to take something away from it, which is going to be very positive for your future sparring rounds. If you enjoyed the episode, please give it a like. If you have not already, join the channel, get subscribed. As always, train hard. I will see you back here soon for another video.